Welcome to Sports Sometimes. I'm TJ Carpenter. Chiefs training camp is here, and with the start of the season less than 2 months from now, we'd like to spend our first show on something near and dear to our hearts: Andy Reid and the 2-minute offense. We all suck at something, even the people we idolize in sports. Michael Jordan never realized he was bad at baseball. Barry Bonds was a terrible teammate. Tom Brady and Jimmy Johnson both have issues with proper inflation. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid can't manage the clock in high-pressure situations. He's great at a lot of things: preparing a game plan, coaching quarterbacks, creating unit cohesion in the locker room, eating cheeseburgers, winning regular season games, eating cheeseburgers. But he is a time bomb with a mustache when it comes to the 2-minute drill. He's completely blind to it too. He can't manage the clock, and he routinely squanders chances to score in the 2-minute offense. And don't blame this on the West Coast system. Bill Walsh could have written the handbook on comebacks in the NFL. Instead, he wrote something called "The Score Takes Care of Itself." And I cannot wait for Andy Reid's first book. At first glance, Andy Reid's resume in Kansas City is glowing. 30-plus victories, 2 playoff appearances, and a playoff win in just 3 seasons. But Andy Reid still has a major flaw. In those 3 seasons, he orchestrated a touchdown drive twice in the 2-minute offense. Look at how poorly the Chiefs have produced in the 2-minute offense under Andy Reid compared to the other perennial AFC Super Bowl contenders. The Steelers score nearly 45% of the time. The Broncos, nearly 38%. The Patriots, 36%. And the Chiefs, a mere 12.8%. Look, getting to the playoffs is not a problem, but winning in the playoffs is. See, you can win in the regular season without a great 2-minute offense. Andy Reid's proof of that. In fact, you can win a lot, but you cannot win that way in the playoffs. And you will be in a close game, you will have to score a touchdown, and you will not have a lot of time or timeouts to do it. Let's go back to the end of the last season. The day after the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in the playoffs, Ray Hughes from WIP in Philadelphia told us she'd seen this particular story many times before.
I have to tell you, as I was watching that game Saturday, sitting here going, oh, those poor Kansas City fans. I think I warned you about 3 years ago that the one thing that Andy struggled with a little bit was time management. And as I'm sitting there watching, I'm going, dear goodness, what are you doing?
Let's go back to 2004. Even the pinnacle of Andy Reid's career, his lone Super Bowl appearance, was completely overshadowed by his biggest flaw: his inability to manage the clock. At least Andy Reid said they've been working on it, no TAs. In fact, I watched him do it. It did not go well. I watched Andy Reid give the offense 1 timeout and a minute 40 on the clock to score a touchdown. Just a couple of plays into the drill, the clock was down to a mere 40 seconds, and he added 2 more timeouts to give the offense more chances. They still couldn't score a touchdown. Think about that. Andy Reid changed the rules of his own 2-minute scenario, and even after that, still failed to score. It was like watching a little kid negotiate with his mom for a cookie before dinner, except in this case, cookies are timeouts, and he's already eaten all of them. And that's not the only problem with the Chiefs in the 2-minute offense. Not only are their practice habits bad, the Chiefs also have the most convoluted process imaginable for relaying plays to the huddle.
And what we'll do is, at times, Brad will give them to him off of the script, just so he hears it and he can spit it out and get practice there. And then, and then at times I'll do it if we're in one of the 2-minute drills or so where we're rolling them. So, and they're not on the script, I'll go ahead and call them just so he gets used to that.
Following Cloud Atlas wasn't this complicated. Yes, Andy Reid with 2 offensive coordinators will call plays in the 2-minute offense, relay those plays in the 2-minute offense, and also manage the clock in the 2-minute offense. I'd rather have Alex Smith run the 2-minute offense, but he says he wants no part of it.
I don't think you operate any faster. In some ways, it's hard to operate like that because as a quarterback, at least for me, I'm playing the game. I'm just trying to execute a play. I'm not necessarily thinking about. It would be weird to switch to all of a sudden. Well, these guys play these defenses and covered in 2-minute situations, and then we should get to these plays. To have the time to get to think like that, to play that chess match, would be hard. Not saying some guys, I guess, couldn't do it. I wouldn't want that.
So you think there's a benefit for having somebody else manage all that stuff?
I think you're getting to a better play, and I don't think you're operating any faster.
Alex Smith ran from that responsibility faster than D. Ford from Frank Gore. Even now, still, I'd rather have a reluctant Alex Smith than an eager Andy Reid. How about this? It takes exactly 2 minutes to microwave a thawed Philly cheesesteak hot pocket. Maybe Matt Nagy leaves a box on the bench. How about maybe a plate of ribs with a clock on it? Or a man could hold up a soccer substitution board with the time on it. Or shot collar. That one's a last resort. Look, we like Andy Reid. Andy Reid's great. He's a lovable, mustachioed, impeccably dressed, jolly football coach. He also needs help. He may be one of the 3 greatest coaches in NFL history to never win a Super Bowl, but that's exactly it. No one wants to be remembered like that. No one wants to have their legacy be a huge compliment undercut by a devastating lack of accomplishment. Look, we don't need a citywide intervention. Just some self-acknowledgement from Andy that he's awful at clock management. Andy Reid needs to understand he's great at many things, but this is not one of them. He already employs people who are better at it than he is. Just let them do it. And then maybe, just maybe, Andy Reid and Kansas City can start counting postseason victories instead of trying to count the final 120 seconds on the clock. I'm TJ Carpenter. This is Sports Sometimes.